Okay, so welcome everybody to day one of our Google Apps class. And this is Monday, July 13th, 2015. Feels a little bit humid outside. Anybody notice that? How's the weather in California, Dennis?
It's hot.
Hot and dry?
Hot and dry.
Okay, so today we're going to start, this week we're going to do Google Drive. So as we usually start at the beginning of the week, what are the other apps? So in California, what's one of the other apps that we do? What?
I'm sorry?
What's one of the other apps?
They said plus YouTube.
Okay, YouTube. Okay, how about here? Amika, what's one of the apps that we do? We study. Do you remember what we did last week?
Calendars.
Calendar, okay.
Chrome.
All right, how about another one in California?
Gmail.
Gmail. Okay, how about Tom? Maps. Okay. How about another one in California?
Let's see.
What? Everybody should have a page in their book that just has the apps, has something like this on it, drawn. When you get asked the question in your interview, well, what Google apps do you do? What do you mean? You should know. So what's another one in California?
Google Plus.
Google.
Okay, Google Plus. What else?
Docs.
Docs is part of Drive.
Okay. Voice.
Voice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's one more. It's not really. I can't hear you. Chrome, right? Chrome. But that might have been where I said in California. So I ignored anybody here. Okay, so these are the 8 apps that we study here. Google has probably 50 apps. Who knows? They might have 500. But these are the main apps we study. This week we're going to do Drive. Why do we do Google apps? Rachel, why Google apps? What do you mean, communication? Why do we do Google as opposed to Microsoft or Ed's apps? Okay, why do we do Google apps? Okay, user-friendly. So there are other ones that are cloud, but the question is, why do we use Google apps? Mike, it looks like you're free, okay? It's free, it's always updated. Google isn't going anywhere. They're a stable business. They're growing all the time. They do have a cash flow problem, which is they have more cash than they know what to do with. So that's why we use Google as opposed to other things, and it's a full suite. Okay, Apple does not have a full suite of things that you can do. They do have stuff, but they don't have a full suite, and it's not really, Apple is not about doing this. So that's why we do Google Apps. And somebody said something that was kind of like they're collaborative, or they are designed to work with other apps. So it's very much the case that once you know how to do one Google app, it's easy to learn other Google apps because they basically it's the same way to do things. And they're compatible, and a lot of apps work within apps, work with other apps. So for example, last week when we were doing how do you create an event on the calendar, what was the one way to do it? What was one way to do it where it wasn't in the calendar? Gmail, right. What was the another way?
Quick Add.
No, that wasn't Google Plus, right. So we could create an event on the calendar not in calendar mode. We could do it in Gmail. We could add something to our calendar from Gmail. That's if you open an email from somebody, you click on the More button, and then it's Create Event. That then brings you to the calendar. And then also on Google Plus, you can add an event to your calendar on Google Plus like we do every day. And what is it called in Google Plus when you add something to the calendar? Is anybody on Google Plus? Go to your hover over the home button. It's called events, right? So that's what something is on your calendar. It's an event. And in Gmail, you can create an event. Okay, so another reason we use Google Apps, and this is a summary about the cloud, is that Google's apps are all designed to work with each other. And you can add things to certain apps from an app. Google is also very good about having add-ons. What's an add-on? It's just another app inside the app. So, and no, that would be like Flubaroo. Okay, so that's if you're in an app. And we'll look at it tomorrow when we're on forms, when we get more into forms tomorrow. We're doing forms up on one of the navigation or the pages, like on this, the spreadsheet page, the responses, they have add-ons. In Docs, they have add-ons, things that third parties write, apps that third parties write to make it easier to use the app. Today they talked about, on the video, he talked about an add-on or an extension. Does anybody remember the extension he talked about for Drive? Everybody saw the 5-minute video? Did you see the 5-minute video? Okay.
It was fast.
Well, it's 5 minutes. It is fast. Huh? Add to your Drive. Remember, you said go to the marketplace, Google Drive for, and you put in Drive, a little on your extension bar up on the top is a little Drive symbol. So if you see, so the point was if you see something on the internet, you can remember I'm saying, if you see something on the internet and you click on this button, it will add it to your Drive. Nobody remembers that? Okay, well, we'll review it again. So Google also has third parties that create software, create apps to work inside of programs. So this week we'll see add-ons in Docs, we'll see add-ons in Forms, we'll see add-ons in Spreadsheets. That's just another thing. So third-party apps that run in an app. So it's an add-on to an app, just like it sounds, add-on. It's added on. Okay, so how do we get to Drive? Okay, so in Google, right, there's always more than one way. There's always more than one way to do things in Google. Okay, so this is my screen right here, my Google Plus screen. So I want to go to Drive, and I click on the 9-square grid, and I click Drive. Why do I say the best thing to do is to use the 9-square grid? Why do I say that's the best way to do it? To use this. Okay, well, there is more than just one thing. But why not use the 9-square colored grid over here? Right, so if I use the 9 square color grid over on the left and push that, it's going to add it right where my current tab is, the tab that I have open. If I go to Drive from there, so if I scroll down and I click on Google Drive from there, it's going to do it in the open tab. So if I'm going to use the colored 9 square grid, I have to make sure to open a tab first, because whatever it is I'm in, if I'm in Gmail and I hit the colored 9 square grid and then I go to Drive, guess what happens to Gmail? It's gone, because Drive went over it. If you use the 9 square grid over here, it opens a new tab for you. So it's just a shortcut. Okay, so we're here in, everybody please go to your Drive page. And one of the things we want to accomplish today is to create folders. So let's talk about, for a second, what are the primary features or functions of Drive? What's the basic purpose of Drive? Organize?
Yes, when it's organized.
Organize what?
Documentation.
Okay. So let's call those files. Organize files. Okay. So above that would be to store. Okay, so from an amateur perspective, we would store files there. Okay, what kind of file? Dwayne, what would be one kind of file we could store on the drive?
One type of file. Some important files like business files.
So a document, right? A doc. Or can we save a video? Video? Can we save an audio recording? Okay. Can we save a picture? Okay. We can save a map. Okay. So we can save any kind of file on our drive. Might not be able to run it, but we could save it there. Let's say it's created in some kind of funky software program. Can we save it to our drive? Yeah. What do we have to do to be able to run it from our drive? Exactly. We have to only run it from a computer that has that program on it. But we can store the file. We can access it. Now, where can we access these files from that are on our drive? Anywhere. Anywhere what? A computer and internet. Right. So we can access, so one of the great things about Drive is we can access files that we have saved from anywhere, so long as we have a computer with internet. Well, we don't really need a computer. We can do it with a smartphone, which I guess is technically a computer. But if you have internet access, if you can use the internet, you can access files stored on your drive. And maybe it's just to take it from here and send it to somewhere else or share it with someone else, but we can do that. Where are these things stored?
In the cloud.
Right. In the cloud, which means what? Yeah, we don't know where they're stored. It doesn't really matter. Now, once we store files, then we want to start organizing the files. Because if you have 15,000 files, okay, I was just checking to see in my lower left-hand corner how much of my drive I've used. I've used 25 gigabytes. How many gigabytes have you used, Julia? If you're on Drive, the lower left-hand corner, everybody should see this if you're on Drive.
669 bytes.
10 megabytes. Okay, so that's almost nothing.
I use 2.
2 gigabytes or megabytes?
Megabytes.
Okay, so think of this, your Gmail account is an account you want to keep forever. You don't need to stop using it. You have this How many gigabytes does it say you have, Tamika?
It says I have 2 megabytes.
Of what? Of how much? Used.
It says 0%.
15 gigabytes? Okay, so it gives you 15 gigabytes.
Oh, okay.
Are you talking about in the Pacific?
I see it.
In the Pacific State, are you call that?
Huh?
And then you got to hook over.
In your drive. So Google gives you 25 gigabytes. How many? 15?
15.
They give you 15 gigabytes to put on your drive.
And the option to buy more.
Huh?
And the option to buy more.
And the option to buy more. Now, there's this new thing happening where they're not counting pictures as part of your gigabytes. I'm not quite sure how that works, but so we can store files, then we organize files. Why do we want to organize files?
So you can on yourself.
So we can find them, right? So we can find them. If you've got, like me, and you have 8,000 files on here, maybe it's more, I don't know. But if you have 8,000 files, do you want to ever have to scroll through 8,000 files to find the one you're looking for? No. An hour might take forever if I had to open the document, if I didn't remember the name. So another reason we use Google that's common with these is Google is built upon search. So if they give you 15 gigabytes of storage, that means thousands and thousands of files, but you have to be able to find the stuff that are in your files, and Google is very good at search. So in all of these Google apps we do, one of the things that's there that's common to all of them is the search bar at the top. So if we organize our files properly, we should be able to find them. And let's just say intellectually, let's ask the question, how do we go about organizing files in Drive? Okay, so we have folders that are common themes. And what are the 3 themes that we urge here?
It says school, work, and personal.
And school, right? Personal, work, and school, is that what it said?
Yes.
It says school documents, resume, and cover letters.
No, the 3 primary folders. Okay, now, each of these folders has subfolders, right? So what could be a subfolder of your personal folder? Family. What else?
It said friend.
Pictures. Okay.
Something personal.
Huh?
How about something personal?
Okay, what? Like what would be a folder? Okay.
Friends.
Okay, friends.
Staff.
This is in your personal folder. So you have 3 folders on your main level in your drive. Personal, work, and school. So under your personal, you could have family, pictures, church, friends.
Daily journal.
Okay. That's a good one. How about,
Calendar.
no. How about important documents? So a copy of all of your important stuff, a copy of your birth certificate, copy of your driver's license, copy of your stuff that you can't use as valid ID, but you can use it to help you get valid ID back. You know, if you get pulled over by a cop and you say, you know, the dog ate my license, but here's a picture of my license, it makes it easy for him to verify. And there are some states now, I don't remember how many it is, it's at least 2 states that let you have your driver's license on your phone. And if you think about it, why not? And it has a little barcode. So they could scan it with the scanner. They can't swipe it through their thing, but on their computer, or now everybody's getting cameras, right? So a guy's going to be able to take your ID and do like we do when it comes to time clock here. Take your ID, maybe he's got a smartphone, he holds it up, it reads your QR code, they know who you are. Okay, this is who you say you are, here's you, big picture of your face. Oh, you're supposed to have a teardrop tattoo here. I see it on your license, or I don't see it on your license. Is this really you? So important documents, your marriage certificate, kids' birth certificates, just any document that you would not want to lose, you would have on here. Your pictures of your credit cards, things like that. What? Okay. So under work, what would you have under work? Okay. So I would have employment plan. And again, you're going to leave here, you're going to go off, you're going to get a job. You keep this account, your Gmail account, you just change your password. You keep this account. Might you ever want to go back and look at your employment planning workshop stuff? Sure. So under employment planning, you now have subfolders of that folder. Okay? So one of the things you can have in Google or in Drive is you can have a folder, a subfolder of that folder, a subfolder of that folder, subfolder of that folder, etc. So let's say it was in a family and you have 4 people in your family. What subfolders would you have in your family folder? Okay, so you could have kid 1, kid 2, kid 3, kid 4, right? Now what subfolders could you have in these folders?
Their kids.
Well, you could have their kids, but you could have things like medical records, right? Sports, school, records. You could have, so the idea is you have folders, you have subfolders of folders. People who don't organize well have maybe 1,000 folders or 500 folders in their main directory. Is that helpful? No. It's helpful if you create a logical path that you say, okay, I need to find my kid's birth certificate. Now, you could have a folder on your main drive that's called birth certificates. And you could have 500 folders on your main directory. And they're going to automatically sort by in alphabetical order. So you could say, well, I'll create a folder called birth certificates, and I'll just put my kids' birth certificates in there. It doesn't matter if I have 500 folders. It's in birth certificates. And that works with birth certificates. But let's say you have your kid's 2nd grade school immunization. Do you create a folder off your main drive called 2nd grade immunizations? Or you just have a folder called immunizations? So you can do that, but then you just start having a lot of folders. Let's say, where do you put your kids, if you don't do subfolders, do you have a folder and you have 4 kids? How do you keep track of, say, all of their schoolwork? Well, you don't have any subfolders. So what would you say? Kid number 1 schoolwork? Okay, it gets to be convoluted. The easier way to do it is you have a folder, and then you have subfolders, and everything is very logical. Yeah?
How do you make a subfolder?
Okay, you make sure your folder, Mike, how do you make a subfolder?
You go into the folder you want it to be in, and you choose new, a new folder.
Okay, so it's very easy. It's actually that easy. So how do you know what folder you're in? Huh? Okay, so over on the left, you start in My Drive, and then you have your folders that pop up. right? If you click on the arrow next to My Drive, it shows you your folders. And then there's a little folder next to it. So on My Drive, these are my main folders. Many of them are color coded. Then I have one folder called 1LTCL that you can share with everyone. And in that, there's about 12 different folders. Now, where am I? How do I know where I am on my drive? How do I know what folder I am? Who said it? How do you know where you are? Right there. Okay. So above the names of the folders, to the right of the red button, well, actually, to the right of where it says Drive, it tells you what folder you're in. So right now, okay, so you can't read my screen, but right now, you might be able to see that here's my drive, here's the folder, 1LTCL3, and here's the subfolder item called Synergize. Now, Julia, how would we make a folder, a subfolder in Synergize? So I'm in Synergize. What did Mike say? How do I make a folder, a subfolder of Synergize? Well, it's open. I'm in Synergize. I'm in Synergize. So where I am, I'm right there. It's in red.
Go to new.
New. Right. Click on New, and then what?
Make another folder.
Right. That's how easy it is to create a subfolder. Okay. So would it be easy to hide documents on your drive? How?
Put them deep on.
Huh?
Put them deep into something. Folder after folder after folder.
Yeah, you could have 20 folders deep. And most people's brains don't think in terms of there's a file that's in a folder 20 things deep. If they know the name of the file, does it matter how many folders there are? No, why? They just search for it. So that's why you want to have a name that dissuades people from wanting to open it if they don't know what it is. Right. Virus, malware, kiddie porn. You know, that would always probably be the most thing that would stop any child porn. Right? No one is going to open that folder. So we can store files, we can organize files. What else can we do in Drive?
I clicked on the word me.
Yeah, my God.
Over here, it shows me all the files that were in that file, just like you used to.
Clicking on Me.
Yeah.
What is Me? Is that one of your folders? Uh-huh. Yeah. So that's one of the features. Once you open a folder, it shows you all the files that are in a folder. Now, what else can we do with Drive? What else does Drive do? Besides store files and organize files.
It said create document.
What, Dennis?
We're saying create document.
Okay. So we can do docs. Is this what you were saying, Tom? Okay. So docs. What else? Click on New. Hint. Click on New.
Spreadsheet.
Okay. What else?
Slides.
There you go.
Okay. What else?
Forms. Maps.
Connect to more apps.
My maps.
Cloud.
Okay. A lot of stuff.
What is it? Under where you go more, and then that one does, on the bottom it says connect more apps?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Well, what happens when you clicked it?
I did click it, I didn't know what was happening.
More apps is up here.
Okay.
Gives you a lot of different,
So what does it do?
gives you a place where you can actually have a journal.
Okay, so these are add-ons. So these are third-party apps, mostly third-party apps, that you can add to, in this case, your Drive or Chrome. You can add them in. And again, there's a search thing at the top. So if I scroll down,
Christina, this is Telus. I'm hoping that we can speak today.
just scrolling, you know.
This is something that we probably good for in the future. If you
I don't know how many there are, but there's a lot.
Multiple folders, Google Drive.
Huh?
It says multiple folders, Google Drive.
It says, when you say it,
So that's
what is
what
it?
just one of the add-ons that was there.
Yeah, so you can have a lot of fun playing with these things. So these are sub-apps or add-ons of more stuff that you can do in there. Now, one of the things that's highlighted on my screen, you will be using this at some point, it's called Cloud Convert. You see it here? So what it looks like. Cloud and two red things. And there's a green bar with a check mark in it. What does that mean? What do you think that means? What does this mean here? See, that doesn't have it, that doesn't have it. Nope. Okay, that means I already have it installed. Yeah. Okay. So Cloud Convert is a fantastic app. What it does is you can take a file and convert it to something else. So for example, you could get a picture that's a PDF and convert it to a JPEG. So the point is there's a lot of things that we can do in Drive. Our focus is going to be on organizing our Drive, making sure we have the right folders set up, and then working on docs, forms, and something else. I think we might do forms for 2 days. I don't remember, but that's our goal. Now, what I want everybody to do is click on My Drive and get back to your Drive. So how do you do that, Thomas?
Just click on your My Drive.
Exactly. So it's very easy, right? Just click on My Drive, and how do I know if I'm in there?
You'll see all your stuff.
Okay, what's another way to know? It says it right up here to the right of where it says Drive. It says, I'm in my Drive. Okay, now what I want everybody to do is click on the gear over on the right, and we're going to do a couple things. Okay, so one thing, so everybody should have a box that pops up like this. Does anybody not have this? I'm going to click on the gear. Okay, so everybody got it? You click on the gear, it looks like that, and click on settings. First the gear, then the settings. Okay, now, you, over on the left here, general is in red, right? Okay, so convert uploads, check that. Check convert uploaded files to Google Docs editor format. Yeah, because we do not study, we don't learn Word here. And most of the documents that you would ever get from people are going to be Word documents. Google automatically converts them to Docs, so you don't need to know Word. You just don't need to know Word. And Docs does 90% of what you need to do 90% of the time. Now the next one, language, I'm just going to skip that offline. So check the box that says sync Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Drawings files to this computer so you can edit offline. Okay? So what this does is this means you don't need to have internet access. It's any document that is on your drive. Why? It stores it on your hard drive. Now, what's the bad news about that? No, you can still go and get it off online. Huh? Well, other people can access it. Okay? That's the thing. That's why it's not a good habit when the computer asks you, do you want me to memorize your password? It's not a good habit to say yes. Because the next person that sits down gets access to what? All your files. But it's very important, like at work, let's say you have your job, you have your computer at work, and you have your computer at home. You want to have it so that you have offline access. So that means you do something at work, you turn on your computer, you launch Chrome in about, a couple minutes. Hopes the internet went off. Google downloaded what you did at work onto your computer at home automatically. Okay, so that's very good if you're not worried about somebody stealing your stuff.
That's if you check that box, right?
Yeah. Okay. So it's a great feature. Whatever you do at work, it's automatically going to be on your computer at home if it has had time to synchronize. So it says here, the first word is sync, Google, Doc Sheets, etc., to this computer so that you can edit offline. So if you do it here and you do it at your computer at home, it's taking what's on the drive, on the cloud, and it's putting a copy here, and it's putting a copy on any other computer you have. So that's a great feature, unless you're worried about people seeing what you have on your drive. And it doesn't do everything. It asks you, well, what is it that you want to sync? You could say, well, I only want to sync my work files, or I only want to sync pictures. Okay. Density, I like compact. You can choose whatever you want. That's the next one down. Create a Google Photos folder. You want to check that box. So you have checked 3 things: convert, sync, and Google Photos. Now let's click on the box over on the left. Below where it says General, click on Manage Apps. Okay. Now you might not have many things in here. That's okay. So this is just where you can customize stuff. Okay, we're not going to spend more time on that. Now, so when you're done, click Done. Then go back to the gear. And click on Download Drive. Okay, so your window should look like that. Does it look like this? So just download the drive.
It says download drive now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or if you have a smartphone, you should do it for your Android devices.
So when we download Drive, it's going to do all of them?
Okay. Well, it does whichever ones you tell it to do. Now, if it's done, if you've already done it like I have, it comes back and it says it's already installed.
To the wheel again.
Yes. Yes, Dennis.
Which one out of that? So they go to correct?
What? Download Drive.
Okay. And then back to
Well, you should Mac or PC,
okay. Mac up.
accept and install.
Accept and install. Okay. All right. Then accept and install. And you should be at that.
Okay, so this is kind of the first step that you have to do. You have to make sure the drive is stored on your computer. And they might already do that.
It says, download Google Drive for Windows. It says accept and install.
Yeah. Mhm. Do what you have to do so that it does that.
Yeah.
Okay? And then if you did that one, and you go back to thanks for downloading Drive, then it says get the app. If you hover over that, it takes away Mac and PC and says, well, do you want to do it now for your Android devices or iPhone and iPad? So it does this, makes it easy. They have people that this is their only job. They just work on Drive, or they just work on DOS, or they work on the Google Drive.
Android, iPad, whatever, iPad.
Okay. So now, let's see. We've got 1 minute break time. Dennis, any questions? In California.
What is your saying?
If you want to do it to your phone.
Should I do it?
Sure. Absolutely. Or out on the road, on the bus. Yes, Dennis, any questions?
We're
Okay, good. Well, thank you. We'll pick this up tomorrow.
thank you.
So remember, if you don't review it, you're going to lose 70% of what we went over.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. What?